Nasheed has been in the game for a long time. We already know about all his art, the Art of Mac and Hustle series, and he had the Hidden Color series. He had the Hidden Color series, and it was a hit. He even had one of the series that actually went into the movie theaters. I remember us going out to the movies to see it. So Tariq been around for a long time. And one thing about Tariq, when he says he's going to do something, he normally does it. He crowdfunds, and he crowdfunded over $1 million, and he came through with the museum. Now, one thing about Tariq, he has a lot of haters. He helped create the FBA movement, Foundational Black Americans, where we begin to self-identify ourselves to delineate and separate from other black people, other black groups of the diaspora in Africa, right? Because we want to have our own identity. Well, with that, you're going to get a lot of trolls, you're going to get a lot of haters, you're going to get a lot of people that's going to come out against you. And Tariq Nasheed, he likes to go live in Twitter spaces. And he will have a lot of arguments, a lot of debates, a lot of conversations in the Twitter spaces. Well, one of these people that comes into the Twitter spaces a lot is this transgender something Giselle, right? He comes in there a lot of times, he's trolling Tariq and everybody over there, they entertain him and laugh and all that kind of stuff. T.S. Giselle, right? But this time, T.S. Giselle came into the Twitter spaces and said some stuff, and the Hebrew Israelites began to run with it. Check it out.
Speaking of that, with that T.S. Giselle, there was, and you got to watch these ops. You got to watch these ops. This is one of these Hebrew Israelites. He tried to use T.S. Giselle to start a failed rumor. Did y'all, and some of y'all didn't even see this dude running around talking about T.S. Giselle is the first lady of FBA. And I really started looking at this dude because I met this cat. And when he started trying to run with, I'm like, dude, are you an op? Dude, are you a damn fed even? Are you a fed even running with some like that? You know what I'm saying? When you engage in bad faith, that's fed talk. Yeah, this dude, now, T.S. Giselle is a damn trans troll. There's a bunch of them. So T.S. goes in these, this say anything. Nobody takes this person seriously. And then T.S. Giselle running around talking about they're the first lady of FBA. All right, that's just some troll. And this dude texts me. You're like, hey man, I heard that this transgender is the third lady of FBA. What that about? I'm looking at the phone. Like, why would you ask me some stupid like that? Why would you ask me, looking at this dude funny for even asking me that? Why would you ask me something so damn obviously stupid and trollish, dude? Why would you even ask me that? And I saw what it was. I'm like, okay, what this dude is doing, he's trying to frame a public narrative. He's trying to text me so he can run whatever response I give, he's going to run publicly with it. I already saw it, and sure enough, he did. Because I'm like, I don't even dignify that with no real response, bro.
Now, this person, who was exposing this situation is Captain Tazariak of the ISUBK under the Commander General Yohana, right? And I heard Captain Tazariak talk about this on another panel. And I didn't say anything, but I was on a panel when he was discussing the situation about the FBA and about, transgender. And Captain Tazariak himself is FBA, right? But he's part of the Hebrew Israelites. So, and it's just, like I said, FBA is a new term, like movement. A lot of people really don't understand it. They misquote it. They come out and say all the wrong things. They misrepresent it. They do all kinds of stuff, man. But Captain Tazariak, he was supposed to be the one. He was the one that allegedly texted Tariq Nasheed to ask him about this T.S. Giselle. He said this.
Hey man, I'm gonna be real brief, man, and maybe I'll put the video up. Tariq Nasheed is apparently subliminally talking about me because he's too vagina to say my name directly. So I'm the person that he's trying to call COINTELPRO XYZ because I text and asked him if a man pretending to be a woman that's calling himself the queen of the FBA was something that they represented. And then he gets mad at me for asking him, and I'm only asking him because he's the quote unquote head, especially on Twitter Spaces. So I figure I go to the source because we had a relationship, and instead of him respecting it, he calls me agent, talks about me subliminally. That really matter. What's diabolical though is that straight men who's supposed to be about foundational black people would allow a gay man to represent himself as the queen of your so-called movement. What's worse, asking if it's true or letting some straight man troll you to being that? A gay man could never troll the Israelite movement, and we accept it, and we think it's funny, and we think it's cute. We would never do that. But the FBA apparently will let a gay man or a trans man troll them.
Now, Captain Tazariak of IHBK, he's met Tariq Nasheed when Tariq Nasheed was in New York City. Tariq did interviews with Sinetta TV. So he's well aware of them. They exchange numbers. So Tariq is basically saying, like, why would you ask me something like that under the mindset that this dude's a troll? Like, you know who we are, how we get down. Why would you assume that there's a trans person being second in command of the FBA when you got all kinds of people around the country saying that they're FBA? Cap, he's saying that all I'm doing is asking, right? And Tariq Nasheed is offended for him asking, just for him even asking, right? So then we get to where Cap, he starts to provide what he believed was proof. So he started to send this.
Whatever it is, been in here yet, but
It's
she.
she. It's she.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
let's be very clear. In the hierarchy of FBA, I'm second in command. There's Tariq Nasheed at the top, and then it's me, T.S.
Can
Giselle,
can I ask you a question,
the
ma'am?
first
Dude,
lady of FBA.
Now, mind you, T.S. Giselle is a troll. So T.S. Giselle is on there, doing what he do, just trolling. Captain Tazariak is taking that, he's running with it. Now, I vehemently disagree with Captain Tazariak, and I think Captain Tazariak has a dislike and a disdain for FBA, for the FBA movement. He'd rather everybody just come up under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and be Israelites, right? So he's going to go against the FBA movement. And so now Charleston White is on there with T.S. Giselle. He's posting this where when he had to go back and forth with Tariq basically saying, like, why are you asking me this? Like, so now he's upset because Tariq called him a fag. So now Tariq, he responded again by saying this.
Yeah, it's a Fed tactic. So we got to watch these people. It's just a Hebrew Israelite. When somebody tries to hit you up with some loaded question, like, is it true that they troll at the first lady of FBA? You asking a question that's designed to embed a lie in the question itself. So whether you say yes or no or whatever, no, clearly it's some. But yeah, you walk away with the lie repeated, and you're just trying to set up a basis to spread the lie, which failed. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, man, do you think people are dumb? Yeah, you have no respect for the damn. Yeah, that's why some of these Hebrew Israelite cats, man, these cats are funny style. Some of these dudes, funny style. And then they do the whole innocent curiosity act. I'm just asking, is it true? They're pretending to be confused or concerned. So they're trying to mask their agenda behind fake concern so they can run around later and say, well, I was just asking questions. So they're trying to give themselves cover while they deliberately spread misinformation. And that, well, I heard from others. Ain't no bad unless there's other feds. Nobody believes nothing that damn stupid. You're the source of the damn lie. Trying to legitimize it by pretending that somebody believes something so damn stupid. You know? Well, and trying to use the clarification excuse. Well, I'm just trying to clear things up. That's why I asked. Acting like they're trying to stop the misinformation when you're actually creating the misinformation. Because I've seen a couple of videos of him still trying to repeat that lie. He's the only one doing it. You're not trying to get no clarity. You're the only one running around saying that
So
stupid.
now that Tariq Nasheed, he fired back and he called Captain Tazariak a Fed, and then he posted the thumbnail for his video that he made where you can see like there's an African guy, as a Fed, you got the Feds in the back, and then you got like a depiction of a Hebrew Israelite guy sitting in a chair, and he's calling them COINTEL, like these COINTELPRO Feds, right? Captain Tazariak, he took umbrage with that. He didn't take that. He was upset. So he came back and responded by saying this.
A man could never troll the Israelite movement, and we accept it, and we think it's funny, and we think it's cute. We would never do that. But the FBA apparently will let a gay man or a trans man troll them.
I think here Cap is building up his his profile online, and he knows that Tariq Nasheed is like the biggest thing in these black spaces. So for him to go back and forth with Tariq, it's going to bring a lot of attention to him, whether good or bad, right? And he made the statement that they'll never allow a transgender to troll their their group, right? And in reference to making reference to Tariq Nasheed with T.S. Giselle, in those spaces. And one thing about Tariq, like he likes to joke, he likes to troll, he likes to do all those things. But people that's people that's in FBA knows that T.S. Giselle ain't no second in command. They know that he's a troll. Shit, the Hebrew Israelites get trolled all the time, right? I'm a believer in the scripture. I'm a believer in that. I'm just not part of no camps. Right? I just choose not to be part of no camps, but they get trolled all the time. They got all kinds of wild stuff that go on within those camps too. So let's not be hypocritical. And I like ISBK. I like Captain Tazariak, but I just disagree with him on this. Like we disagree. I just believe that you're going at Tariq now because it puts you in the spotlight. It brings more attention to you, and you got it popping online. Like I've been following Cap, for a long time, ever since we had a conversation back in 2016 on 125th Street on side of the TV, right? I got, the footage is there. So I've been following this brother a long time. A good dude, man. I met the guy in person. Real good guy, man. But I just, he's blowing up on social media right now. And I just figure, because he has common sense. He knows that guy ain't in second command. He knows what FBA is. He's heard sensible people explain what FBA is in our delineation and separating ourselves from other groups. He knows what that's about because he's part of the Hebrew Israelites. So he already knows what that's about. I just believe that the angle he's taking now is just bringing more attention to his movement, and by doing that, is going back and forth with a Tariq Nasheed, based up because the argument is frivolous. It's just a ridiculous argument. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time, peace.